Today we got Tinks.
I was looking at the comments in this post, and there was a lot of comments making light of it, like joking around, like, ooh, men are in their flop era. Like, no, like when I read this, I had a pit in my stomach. This goes beyond like men are in their flop era. We are living through a paradigm shift in society. And when ChatGPT rolls out corn by the end of the year, I think that dating and society will be unrecognizable in a year from now because there's already so many people who are having full blown relationships with AI.
Because it's way easier. It's that simple. People have been trying to find ways to exit the game since the beginning of time. When I say exit the game, what I'm referring to is avoiding their responsibilities as a human being to the next generation. To make a very complicated idea very simple, it's because of competition. People also don't want to look at it straight in the eyes and accept it for what it is. That is never going to happen, at least not for the vast majority of people. This is also why you'll rarely see suicide being an issue for children. Suicide is an adult problem. It starts when you're a teenager. Why? Because when you're transitioning from child to adult is when you begin to realize, subconsciously at least, that you're entering the competition pool. Sexuality is hyper competitive. It is what it is. It's not exactly a flattering reality for most people, but we can't deny the inevitable nature of it. Even if some of us can try and place ourselves above it, we will always be pulled down by the lowest common denominator that will always exist, if you view it that way. Think of it as an inevitability of humanity. Of course, people have a really hard time rationalizing the concept of infinity. So because of that, what we do instead is build copes around these concepts, because it's easier to live that way. Put simply, if you can get the feeling or the perceived reward without any of the responsibility, why wouldn't you do it becomes the question. In the case of AI girlfriends, the simpleton logic goes as follows. I get all the stimulation and satisfaction I'll need without any of the responsibility or problem. Obviously, for anybody that has an IQ higher than a rock, they can see that this is clearly a descension into hell. Good luck, though, convincing these types of people. It will never work, so don't bother.
Who are not developing social skills and dating skills and respect for other human beings in the outside real world. Once AI is able to service that aspect of life, relationship, whatever you want to call it, there is going to be no reason for these men who are having full-blown relationships with AI to ever stray from them. And that's really scary.
That's already been happening for years. Technology and knowledge, by extension, has a price. The price is that everything is perceived as infinitely more predetermined. What do I mean by this? Before, there was a perception of way more dynamic variables or abstract variables as you're going through life. There's so many potential things that could happen. In this day and age, for the vast majority of people, though, everything in life has become so linearized. Essentially, there's no unknowns anymore. Let me give you a small example. You go to school, you get a piece of paper, you work a certain type of job, you may switch between job A, B, or C, or whatever. You get a set amount of money. You can pretty much predetermine what your wage increase will even be because, let's be honest, most companies pay on a flat, let's call it 3%, if that, per year increase. If you follow this trajectory, you can essentially map out your entire earnings of your life up until the point of your arbitrary retirement day. Life has become so incredibly sterile for the vast majority of people. Now, obviously, a lot of people hate this reality, but the reason they hate it is so much more abstract than just, I don't like it, because all of their comfort needs are being met. So how can they possibly dislike such a comfortable life? It's mostly because we weren't designed to be robots and we weren't designed to live like this. With any meta that develops, there's always a refinement over time, and things that used to be meta breaking eventually become commonplace. As the average person starts to buy into the old competitive advantage, it no longer becomes a competitive advantage. As we go towards the future, things become more and more refined. With more refinement, there's less opportunities to stand out when everybody has already done all of the things to refine themselves. You ask yourself why we're seeing this explosion of this outrage culture. Are you even that surprised by this? Even with the seemingly infinite options when it comes to identity, there are not that many unique ways to identify yourself or to really be special. You can put on the costume and the makeup all you want to and play the part, but when you go home, You're just like everybody else, doing the exact same things. There's a lack of a sense of adventure, and it's hard to find it. This is also coupled by the fact that the exit plan has never been easier to reach out and grab. Enter AI girlfriend or sex doll or whatever you want to call it. Hopefully you're starting to see the picture that I'm trying to paint here, because it's a very abstract idea that I'm trying to boil down with very real realities that we're witnessing all the time. The margins are simply becoming way tighter than they ever were. You have to do way more now to be special than you did in the past. That's just the reality. I also forgot to mention the fact that breaking the rules is also way harder than before because we're constantly under surveillance. So before, the risk taker guys would break the rules and the ones that didn't get caught would have some sort of competitive advantage. That door has mostly been shut as well. This is why I call this the age of discipline. The only way out now is by truly choosing to be extraordinary, which inevitably boils down to doing the things that nobody else wants to do, but it's so much harder now because there's so many easy ways to waste time. The problem inevitably will get a whole lot worse before it gets better. You can choose to not make it that way for yourself. If you like this video, like and subscribe. Make sure to check my links in the description below.